There are protests. We have Bush and Powell, Beale and Market, Pine and Sansom, Broadway and Battery. We also have now Montgomery and Clay, Van Ness and Fell, as you saw, Sansom and Sutter, Broadway and Battery, and of course 5th and Market. We had earlier a 5th and Mission, so all over the city and now spreading out into the Mission District. You can see one there at Valencia at 16th. There was a demonstration there, and we have word that there was a demonstration actually at Van Ness and Lombard. So you can tell that the protesters are fanning out throughout the city.
Direct action to stop the war was coordinating a large-scale mass action scenario to respond to the war.
War stops here and so do you! War stops here and so do you!
There were people inside the United States, people literally inside the machinery of the global empire who were resisting, who were standing in solidarity with the millions of people around the world that were taking action against the war as well.
It was in the middle of this big contradiction between 30 million people on February 15th and the war.
It was a true carnival of resistance, you know, in terms of seeing all of the wide range of actions that were people taking and the wide range of ways that folks were communicating to the world.
There was no way that the authorities were going to be able to contain what we had organized for and what DASW had organized.
They had the fire department out and ready to sort of remove people. What they weren't ready for was the actual people of San Francisco kind of rising up, throwing the traditional rules of obedience to the wind and actually organizing into these kind of moving blockades.
We really did interrupt business as usual. Buses couldn't get through, people couldn't get to work. And that's what we were telling people, was like, don't go to work, call in sick, don't feed this war machine with your labor.
And if the United States was going to embark upon a vicious and brutal war abroad that was completely baseless and completely illegal and completely inhumane, it was our responsibility to do everything in our power to stop that from happening. It's hard not to feel disappointed about the fact that the bombing continued and about the fact that the occupation continues to this day, and it is an absolute bloodbath in Iraq.
It had very short-term goals. It had very clear, focused goals, particularly around a specific action. And as it tried to continue on, I think there was a real struggle for what was DSW really about, what would a real strategy to stop the war look like.
I didn't feel like I was empowered in decision making in DASW.
Over time, really realized a lot of how things really get decided behind the scenes in these groups, or how consensus can be manipulated, and how like regular leadership development, wasn't really going on.
There was a circle of people who had done this work for a long time, had known each other for a long time, and it was them, and then there was, everybody else.
There was a good spark, but of course a spark is not the same as a fire.
This occupation continues, and it's going to continue, and it's going to continue to get worse. We shouldn't feel disappointed about that. We should feel outraged and ready to fight back.
When we don't meet our goals, I think we succeed on one level when we're able to learn from what we've done. And that's why I think this movie and all the other discussions that happen about DASW are very valuable and are part of that process of learning how to really build movements and learning how to be more strategic in groups, and ultimately learning how to do the work of changing the world.